So the subject today is the revolution of the makers. And basically what it is, it's about a new empowerment for creativity that wasn't there before. It's about new tools and access to information that wasn't there before. Access to information today through the internet allows everybody to learn new traits or new tricks in creativity very easily. And then you can always buy hardware very cheaply, see what others have done, and learn through others' experience and blogging on the internet. Once you've done something cool and everybody sees what it's about, you can then use social media to promote it. And then, of course, there's crowdfunding, which motivates you to maybe try the market and see if it's commercially viable. My company, RoboSavvy, has been around for 10 years, selling bits and pieces for makers, especially in the area of robotics and electronics. We sell 3D printers, scanners, CNC machines, sensors, and all kinds of stuff for this new world of makers. Now, the fun part of what we do are some wacky projects that we occasionally get with a very tight deadline. And we need to use all these tools that are available to make some interesting robots for university research, for entertainment, television, and we've been doing that in the past 3 years and focused especially on humanoid robots. This is a TV show that was aired a couple of years ago. This was a live event in front of 6,000 people with a dancing robot you may have seen. This dancing robot, for us, it took a couple of weeks, basically, to design the dance. We had to choreograph the robot, and we scanned the TV character's face and then 3D printed it to mount on top of the robot. And the dance was quite successful, and people liked it, and we were quite surprised by how people liked it. And I've been chaperoning him around the world for the past couple of years. I think the peak of his career was actually falling off the table in Fox News, and afterwards being elected as the failure of technology of 2013 in Comedy Central for being a twerking robot that can't work. So what are the tools for making really fast prototypes? So the first thing, our best friend is Alibaba. Alibaba, if you're not familiar with it, is like eBay, but it's like a reverse auction. You say, I need a screw, I need like 100 of these particular screws, or in this case, motors, and you just post your requirement, and 100 Chinese guys will try to sell you their stuff, or services, or things that are not easily available locally. And sometimes you can't buy one, you have to buy 100. This is a recent project we're working on. So this is, we have 2 months to put together a 1.80 meter robot, humanoid robot, upper body, on a Segway. And so the tools that we used were, for example, the body, the backbone of the robot, uses an aluminum rod that you can source and then chop up, and we outsource the heavy metal part. And then we bought a Segway from China, a proper Segway clone, and had to hack it in order for it to work as a robot. So it involves electronics and mechanics and programming. The chest of the robot has carbon fiber rods that are used in hobby quadcopters. And then the joints, which are really complicated, are 3D printed. So all of these tools are easily accessible and then provide you with a way of quickly prototyping things. This is another project I'm currently working on. I've brought here an early prototype. The idea here is to do a robot that can fetch tennis balls in a court. So if you're practicing your pitch, it will just walk around the outer skirts of the field and put the tennis balls in a cart, and then you can call it and it will bring you the tennis court. So the robot is completely designed to be 3D printable. I don't know if there is a market for this thing or if anybody will want it and what the end price will be if we make 100,000. So the idea now is to make a 3D printable version, eventually make it work, make a nice video, make a kit, and put it on Kickstarter and see what people think about it. So as an example here, the bearing, the joint of the robot needed a special bearing. Buying one of these bearings in the UK is about £6. Buying 1,000 on Alibaba costs about $400. So I had to buy 1,000, but if I plan, I probably eventually will use them all. So other interesting projects we did, this is a robot, a humanoid robot we did for Ulster University. So it's a 1.20 meter humanoid robot, has a lot of cameras and stereo vision and an i7 embedded computer. And the parts are made of, are made in our lab. So it's carbon fiber plates, 3D printed parts, fishing wire. Apparently fishing wire is made of Kevlar. It has amazing properties and you buy it by the kilometer. So you don't need to buy like proper industrial components for fast prototyping. So we made, as a result, we made these hands, these 3D printable humanoid robot hands that are very dexterous and innovative. Another thing that we do is sometimes workshops for education about robotics and 3D printing. In this case, the workshop attendees were given a small kit, a robotics kit from China, and they build the kit, and then they learn how to program it and write their own name on a plot, to plot their own name on a piece of paper. And then they get to scan their own head and use 3D tools, software tools, to dig a hole through their head, then 3D print their own head and mount it on the pen, so you get in the end a mini-me that writes my name. So that's a fun workshop that we do. Finally, another interesting project we worked on was to bring a 3D printable humanoid robot. Typically, humanoid robots are really expensive. We wanted to bring something really versatile and with a lot of degrees of freedom, but where everything is 3D printable, so you can build it instead of having to use mass production techniques. So the first prototype was based basically on Honda Asimo. So taking the famous humanoid robot Asimo, looking at its structure and disassembling the degrees of freedom and then creating a backbone for a 3D printable version. This was a prototype. And then, again, another thing that's available that wasn't available in the past. We wanted to create a nice design around it. So I put a bounty, $800, on GrabCAD, and I got 30 designs from around the world of how to create a nice design with a nice shell that was 3D printable and that can make the robot look pretty. And finally, the winner was a postdoc from Carnegie Mellon, and we're currently working with him to finalize the model and launch this robot. So, to finalize, the idea of makers today, of this new makers revolution, it's not really a revolution, it's an evolution of something that has been going on for quite a long time. The difference is access to information and audacity of a lot of people that without prior knowledge, they just engage in learning, and you can learn programming in 1 weekend. We've got here Mike who does 1 weekend crash course in programming, and you can learn about mechanics, and you can really make things happen in a very short period of time. And that's what it's all about, the Maker's Revolution.